If you are in franchising, you need to know about legislation that's happening in California right now and will affect you if it passes. We're gonna break down how and why over the next few weeks of post. Subscribe to our content for more updates and understanding about this issue. The California SB 919 franchise investment law regarding third-party franchise sellers is on its way to becoming a law in California. Now, this disclosure law in its current form is very aggressive and will do tremendous damage to franchising in California. The regulators and the International Franchise Association, or the IFA, worked together to create the law. Now, IFA supports the law and asked for support from its members related to it. From the layman's view of the information and from maybe a franchisee's perspective, it seems to make sense at first. But when you dig into the legal terms and their actual meaning, their consequences, and the negative impacts, the realization hits you and you think, oh man, what have we done? Now, I don't blame any of the parties who support the bill. They were noticing an issue and then doing the best that they could with the information they had to create a solution. They were rallying around an initiative and trying to solve a hard problem. The legal team who crafted the act also had a hard problem to solve. Why? Well, because they had to make referral sources to a franchise sale the target of the act that holds the referral source responsible to the sale. The franchise broker is being held accountable and they are not the party to any decision. They are not paid anything up front and they have no contract from the potential franchisee. They also have no authority to affect the transaction or the contract's execution thereafter. Again, it's hard to make someone with no authority fully responsible. Now, I'm not saying this as just a person who read the bill and then made a judgment about it. I'm saying this as a person who invested in legal consultation and SEC expert advice, and someone who has spent literally hundreds of hours poring over the details of the act, examining every word in it and looking at it from all sides. I'm coming to this as someone who is trying to solve the problem that the act attempts to solve. I worked with my team to put myself in the shoes of IFA and the California regulators to accomplish what they were trying to accomplish. But how do you make a party with no authority accountable and responsible for the decisions of the parties in the contract? It's not an easy thing to do. And the only way that you can do it is to make the language of the act incredibly broad. And in doing that, you draw in a whole lot of unsuspecting parties who are now considered third-party sellers, but would have no idea that they now hold that title. Here is what the IFA and California regulators wanted to do. This is their intention from the way that I see it, at least. First, they wanted to punish false earnings claims and misrepresentations, but this is already punishable under current laws. We don't need new laws to do the same thing that current laws already do. Two, they wanted to know who the bad actors were and let potential franchisees know that as well. Now, in the current franchise award process, there is already a disclosure form that states a 5-year history of relevant parties in the transaction. Now, it is added to the final paperwork in the transaction. That existing process could easily be modified slightly to be delivered at the time of the FDD disclosure to the potential franchisee. The act could solve this issue. The act, if modified, could effectively make the bad actors more visible earlier in the process. Third, they want brokers to introduce franchises without commission as a factor. Now, this misses the reality that the franchise broker show them many franchise options to a potential franchisee. Those options must be checked prior to presentation. They have to be checked for territory to see which is available. They also have to check for the brand's fit for that potential franchisee's requirements. So this act assumes that the broker is going to force a person into picking the brand that the broker wants to show them. But that is not this business. In this business, the broker has to win the potential franchisee's favor and show them options they like enough to choose. And then the potential franchisee selects the ones that they're interested in learning more about. Then the broker hands them to the franchises, plural, to begin their discovery and due diligence process. The broker has no control over what the potential franchisee picks. The broker has no control over the final commission. The potential franchisee and the franchisor, they both decide what the opportunity will be. They decide the size of their territory and the terms. The broker finds out what their referral fees are and where they'll land when the transaction is completed, not before. This act is not ready to go into law, and if it does go into effect with these incredibly broad, undefined terms, it opens franchising up to immeasurable, frivolous lawsuits that have nothing to do with actual bad acts. The act is designed to make non-registration illegal, not bad acts illegal. Okay, so that is the issue, and that's what we're going to help people to get educated about. Now, if you worked with California 919, I just want to say, thank you for trying. Thank you for caring, for bringing these issues to our attention. I don't work with any franchise brokers who do the kinds of things that the act is protecting against. Our people are incredible. They are candidate focused. They work so hard to help potential franchisees understand the language of franchising and to get educated enough about making a good, truth-based decision. In my world and in my sphere, I have incredible, rational, intelligent, emotionally strong and supportive, loving and effective people all around me. I was not exposed to the bad actors of the industry. Now I am. Now I know. I read the letters from franchisees who were given misrepresentations. I now know, and I'm grateful for those insights. It has given me this broader view of the industry as a whole. It was not a problem we created, but we are going to be accountable to the solution. I'm not going to fight against others. I am not going to judge and come down on people acting in fear. And in doing so, draw myself right into that fear. I'm going to connect and support with the people affected. I have the solution and I'm willing to do the work to execute it, but I need your and IFA support to work on that solution that actually fixes the problem. The problem is people who failed or are struggling franchise owners. And the solution is helping those people to rely on the network and power of franchising to pull them out of that bad situation and into a stronger position. Now, wiping out an industry in California that does so much good to support and educate potential franchisees is not the answer. California 919 is putting franchising in a bind. It's just not ready for prime time, so speak up now before it's signed.